Ranger is going to do a trick for us. We had to go through Ranger's toys this morning and send some of them to the dog toy heaven, aka the trash. So now his toys are all over the floor and he needs to get them cleaned up so that I can vacuum. Hey, this is Amy on A Lolly Life. We're gonna talk about 7 things that you should do now that'll make your downtime more relaxing. And we're going to do some maintenance on the vacuum cleaner. We have Ranger toys. We have Ranger toys all over, and they need to go in that basket. They need to go in that basket because I can't vacuum while these toys are all over the floor. Ranger, will you clean up for me? Clean up. Well, clean up whichever one you want. I know there's a lot of toys out. Clean up. Yummy, yummy treats. They may look like dog food, but they smell way better, and Ranger loves them. These are the training treats. Train me. And they work super well. He absolutely loves them. And no, they aren't sponsored. I'm not actually a big enough channel to get sponsors at this point, but Ranger does love these. I haven't met a dog that doesn't love these. Clean up. Put it away. Clean it up. Nope, you have to get it in the basket. That's right, good job. Oh, yummy. About took my hand off. Clean up. What else do you have? Clean up. Clean it up. All the way in the basket. In the basket. Oh, very nice. I like it. Oh, you jumped it. Got it from the air. Why are you down on the floor, Amy? Is that what you're wondering? I'm kind of wondering it myself. I am down here on the floor because I have some vacuum cleaner maintenance to do. I am doing this vacuum cleaner maintenance so that when I have some downtime later, it's not hanging over my head as like, you still need to clean the vacuum cleaner. Because while vacuum cleaners are super wonderful and they clean the carpets and they do so many wonderful things, they need maintenance too. And I lose a lot of hair. I think I've mentioned that before. And so my vacuum cleaner gets this like nasty, yeah. It's bad. It gets bad really quick. We need to clean that up. It actually is important to clean this uck out of the vacuum cleaner spinner brush, because if you continue to let it build up, not only will it not work as well, but it will break faster. I really like it. I do not want it to break. I have zero desire for it to go vacuum cleaner shopping. Like, really, zero desire. They have a saying, it's an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And that is actually something that like the Benjamin Franklin said, but this is the story. Benjamin Franklin went to Boston. Don't quote me on that. He went to Boston and they had this like fire department, and so like when there was a fire that started, then they had people that were ready and waiting to respond, kind of like our fire department, and they would hurry over and put out the fire as quickly as possible. And so because of that, the fires didn't get out of control as often, and because if the fires got out of control, particularly back in the 1700s, like it could very possibly burn down the whole town. So Benjamin Franklin was pretty impressed with this fire department, and I'm going to start pulling these while I'm talking. He was pretty impressed with this fire department. So he goes back to Philadelphia and he tells them, he says, I think we need a fire department. That was pretty amazing. I personally think it's a really great idea. And so he wrote a letter to his own newspaper, because Benjamin Franklin owned a newspaper, and he wrote a letter to his own newspaper, and he didn't sign it, that said, you know, talking about why they needed a fire department. And in that letter, he said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. He talked about how they should prepare themselves. This is so nasty. They should prepare themselves in the event that there might be a fire. Oftentimes, those ounce of prevention kind of things, those little tiny things that you need to do to keep things running, but you don't have to do them all the time, you just have to do them once in a while, those things tend to like stack up for me. I'm pretty sure that I'm the only person that ever happens to, but I'm gonna pretend like it happens to other people as well, because then it makes me feel better about it. But those kinds of things stack up for me. And things like cleaning the hair out of the vacuum cleaner will keep it working longer. It's the ounce of prevention. Because if I let that build up and it broke the vacuum cleaner, then the pound of cure would have to be buying a new vacuum, which is something I really don't want to do. And today, I'm going to tell you about 7 things that you should be doing, get up and do right now, unless of course you're doing something important like cleaning the vacuum cleaner. Because when you get these kinds of things done and they're like checked off your list, when you actually have downtime, you're able to like, okay, like even if you don't have everything checked off your list, if you even check one of those things off your list, you can be like, you know what? I may not have done everything, but I did something, and that counts for it, and I'm off the clock. And so then you, like when you have downtime, it's actually downtime. That's what we all want. Number 1 is go to the dentist or get your eyes checked. If that is something that is on your, like, in the back of your mind to-do list of that ounce of prevention list, do it. Get up there and do it. Make the appointment. Do what you need to do to go get that taken care of. And if it isn't the dentist or eye doctor, you know, and there's something else that you really need to be doing to take care of yourself, then do that. And I'm not necessarily talking about like pampering yourself or getting your nails done or things like that. I'm talking about things that, well, truthfully, things that really matter. I'm sure that getting your nails done really matters to some people, but I'm talking about things like taking care of a cavity. The second thing that you should do right now so that your downtime is more relaxing is do your homework. When I was in school, oftentimes the teachers would assign some homework over the Christmas break. I absolutely despised it. And my mom would always insist that I should get it done right away. And one of the Christmas breaks, I didn't. I just kind of was like, I have plenty of time, I'm not even gonna bother with it, and I'm sure you all know where this is going. And I was on the way to school the day, you know, Christmas break was over, and I'm on my way back to school, and I'm like, this like panic moment hits me of like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, I didn't do my homework. Like, yeah, that was scary. The other thing that happened was all throughout Christmas break, when I would find myself just kind of sitting back, relaxing, there would be this like nagging little thought that would just like burrow itself into my head that says, you still have homework. You should be doing that instead of sitting here relaxing. You should be doing that instead of whatever it is that you're doing, that you're enjoying yourself. And because of that, I couldn't actually enjoy myself very well because I just was always thinking about the fact that I had this homework. So homework really can represent whatever it is that you need to be doing, but that kind of thing. Get your homework done. Do it first. Do the most important things first. Number 3, deal with your debt. If you are in debt and money stuff is like making every waking moment just feel like misery because there's like this sense of impending doom over you because of the debt that you have, take care of it. Do something about it. Even if that something is to quit spending, do something about it. Figure out how to budget and make it a priority. And quit buying the latest can opener because your neighbors did. I think oftentimes we talk a lot about our freedom and how important it is to us, but we don't really stop to consider the fact that debt takes away our freedom. We really don't have the same freedoms when we are in debt. When you get in debt, it owns you. That debt owns you. And in order to, debt is not a nice master. So have your own little civil war and take back your budget and pay off your debt and quit being a slave to your debt. Number 4 is that you should talk to somebody that you love. And this can include a few different things. Sometimes there's a little rift. Rift. I think it's rift. There's a little rift and you can kind of feel it and it's just there. And if you don't do something about it, it just gets bigger. It doesn't actually go away. That's the thing about those kinds of things. They don't go away on their own. And oftentimes it just takes 10 minutes of sitting down and looking into each other's eyes and saying, hey, we got a problem. This is bothering me. What do you think we can do about it? Number 5, if you are in a bad situation and you know it, and you've known it for a while, and it is putting your life or somebody else's life that you love in danger, or making you miserable to the point that, I'm not even gonna go there. It's making you miserable. Get out. Do it now. Your downtime will be so much better if you just take care of that. That ounce of prevention, which sounds like an awful lot of prevention, because sometimes getting out of those situations can be incredibly difficult. But that ounce of prevention, if that is so big, could you imagine what the pound of cure will cost? Probably your life. So get out. In a nice way. I didn't mean that in a rude way. Yeah, okay. When I was a teenager, we had this deal with my parents, my brothers and sisters and I, or sisters, I don't have any sisters. My brothers and I really wanted sisters, so I obviously am making them up in my head. My brothers and I, we had this deal with my parents, and if we ever got into a bad situation, we could call them anytime and they would come pick us up, no questions asked. And so if we were at a party and things started to get a little bit weird and we didn't necessarily feel comfortable, or even if we didn't have a reason, we just were like, I want to get out of here. We could call my parents and they would immediately come and get us. And I think we even had a code word, although I'm not sure what it is. Good thing I don't have to call my parents to come pick me up anymore. But if you ever get into a situation where you start to feel uncomfortable and you realize that you shouldn't be there, then you need to make sure that you figure out a way to get out. Leave it behind. There is a reason that you're probably starting to feel uncomfortable. You should listen to that, like, gut feeling. You should listen to that. Number 6 is recognize toxic thoughts. Toxic thoughts are things like, everybody's gonna laugh at me for cleaning my vacuum cleaner while I'm talking about that, talking about things that they should be doing. Toxic thoughts are things like, my hair doesn't look very good today, and I don't actually like the fact that there's like this like weird part that happens like right here all the time because I have a small little cowlick there. So when that constant stream of sour, negative, horrible things starts coming into your head, say something positive about yourself out loud, even if you have to mumble it. And so when toxic thoughts come into your head, you say things like, I am making this YouTube video because I feel strongly about this, and I feel like that maybe by sharing these things, I'm gonna help somebody. And it is okay. I have hair, and I like my hair. And I would be very sad if I had like bald spots, and I don't. And so there. Okay, the other thing I need to do with the vacuum is I need to clean the filter and the, well, since I just vacuumed, I need to clean the tank as well. But, so, yeah. Because this is the nastiness that would have caused me to have to go buy a new vacuum pretty soon, and I don't want to do that. Nasty. One of the reasons that I do this after I finish vacuuming is because when I wash out the filter, it should dry completely before you use it, and so the filter will get all the way dry before I need to use it again. Filter. Yuck. Cleaning toothbrush. So I didn't get this wet, but I did, brush it off with a dry toothbrush and kind of clean it up a bit. And also, you should follow the directions on your thing. Mine does say that you should wash this out in the sink, but it also says that it should dry, not in the vacuum. Like, leave it out in the sun, kind of, to dry, so it doesn't mold. Make sure you're following the directions. Okay. Number 7, the 7th thing that you should do is you should call a loved one. Call somebody and tell them thank you. Call someone, tell them that you love them. If you haven't talked to your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister or your whoever, in a while, call them and just say, hey, I've been thinking about you. How you doing? Ask some of your older relatives about their youth. Or ask them to tell you some stories about so-and-so that passed away, or what, just things like that. Family bonds are important. And whether that's the family that you're born with or the family that you create, they are important. And so that should always be on your radar as something that you should be doing. And so periodically, call somebody that you love and tell them, I'm thinking about you, I love you. It isn't important for you to do all of these things every day or to feel like you have to constantly be working. But these kinds of things, when you have one of those done for the day, it just makes your downtime so much more relaxing, because you know that you're taking care of those little things that don't have to be done all the time but still have to be done. That is my ounce of prevention list, so that you don't have to pay for a pound of cure. And I want to tell all of my subscribers just a big, huge thank you. It really means a ton to me. And so thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You make a difference for me.